Have you ever wondered how come we never see Muslims, all kinds of Muslims, I mean, lipstick Muslim, radical Muslim, Muslims who pretend to be liberal like Mehdi Hassan, none of them ever complain about illegal migrants. Because if you think about it, when illegal migrants come into your tiny country, let's just use the UK as an example, your infrastructure gets burdened, hospitals are full with people who shouldn't even be there in the first place, crime goes up, sexual violence goes up, your own people can get stabbed or raped. But we never see Muslims complain about illegal migrants. Why is that? Now, I covered a story. Actually, Five Pillars covered it, Britain's most favorite Islamist propagandist outlet. They covered a protest organized mainly by Muslims who protested in favor of illegal migrants. They actually counter-protested against the Patriots, who were protesting against an HMO in London. I think it was in Canary Wharf. I tried to find it for some reason. I can't find any references to it. So anyway, so Muslim men counter-protested against the Patriots in defense of illegal migrants. I covered that. It's somewhere in my YouTube videos. I tried to find any reference on Google or on Five Pillars website, but I couldn't find it because it is entirely possible. Five Pillars is known to post stupid shit and then they delete it. But other than that, there hasn't been any protest either in favor of illegal migrants or against illegal migrants. The question is, why not? You should be against illegal migrants. You should be against the inundation of even legal migrants, because at the end of the day, if your country becomes overcrowded, you will end up paying the price. So why do you think they're on protest against illegal migrants? I have a theory, but before I tell you that, watch this video. As you guys know, Ceuta, Spain is being inundated with illegal migrants. Again, all of these, 95% of all of these illegal migrants, whether they're from Asia, the Middle East, North Africa, most of them, 90% of them are Muslims. And herein lies a clue.
Walking down the streets in the docks in Ceuta, I saw Barak Charity UK, which is a Muslim charity based in Birmingham. What they do in Ceuta raises some questions. So these NGO workers and volunteers are stocking up on food and water from one of the local supermarkets in Ceuta to take to the migrants across the enclave. Interestingly, they appear to have with them a professional film crew. What I'm wondering is, are they just documenting what they're doing, or are they making and pushing pro so-called asylum seeker propaganda?
They are.
From the camp yesterday on the beach.
I think that's what they're doing. So on the one hand, we have these Muslim NGOs facilitating and supporting these illegal migrants. And then we obviously already know about these liberal women, these people. Yeah. They are facilitating illegal. They are facilitating the arrival of illegal migrants, all of them. What's going on? I understand the left is doing that because on paper, at least, they're saying that, these people are fleeing war-torn countries. Even if they're economic migrants, doesn't matter. Let them come in. I do have another theory as well. These Western white liberal women, they have some sort of a weird fetish with that, but I don't know. But let's get back to the point. Why do Muslims not only not protest against illegal migrants, but are also supporting them? This is why they're doing it, because at the end of the day, in my opinion, Islamist forces are trying to take over the West, and they're preparing for a civil war. Listen to this guy. This is Five Pillars Dildo Boy.
Today's talk entitled The Future of Muslims in Britain. I firmly believe that the Muslims of Birmingham will play a key role in the future. They're already playing a role without knowing it. Those who seek to harm this community in a very violent way are already talking about Birmingham as being a center point of future civil wars and violent unrest. how proud you should be to be from a city.
Let me show you what Birmingham actually looks like. These people have destroyed Birmingham. Look at this. This is Birmingham. How proud you should be to be from this city. Muslim area. Mayor, Muslim, Zakir Chowdhury. There's so many of these videos. But anyway, let's get back to the point.
Where an independent MP, and I'm not one to big up MPs. Wallahi, if any of you guys know Didi Hussein and his work and his positions and his politics, I'm not someone who
Why is he mentioning himself in the third person?
praises politicians and MPs. I'm certainly not someone who generally praises police forces. But you come from a city where your police force and an independent MP ensured that Israeli terrorist Maccabi Tel Aviv fans weren't going to step here. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. And I may seem like, if you think it's a small minor thing that was, I'm telling you it was not.
Oh.
If you think it was a coincidence that 10 years ago there was a massive national scandal called the Trojan Horse that was centered in Birmingham, that was not by any coincidence. Birmingham, whether you like it or not, whether you acknowledge it or not, whether you understand it or not, is one of the heartlands of the Muslims in Europe. Dare I say even in the West, if you even want to include the North America. Birmingham is a city, is an area which has played a key role and will continue to play a key role in the future of the Muslim diaspora communities in the West and specifically in Britain.
They're preparing for a civil war. They're going to need a lot of soldiers. A lot of soldiers. This is what they're urging their men to do.
And I've said this before, Muslims particularly, especially, but migrants and people of colour have now reached a point in the United Kingdom and broadly speaking Europe and America where self-defense, combat self-defense, I would argue, is an obligatory for a man. My personally, I'm not talking about religious obligation. I'm saying obligatory, like you must do this. And there has to be, if you're not going to send your women out to train, I beg you, brothers, you can now fulfill the sunnah of play fighting with your wives. Your wife needs to know how to defend herself when someone grips her by the neck. She needs to know what happens when a man has mounted her and he's on top. She needs to know what to do when someone's, gripped her with
Creating hysteria.
two hands. How do you break that lock? She needs to know these very basic foundational self-defense. I know it's a cultural taboo. I know the idea of, especially for conservative Muslims, for our women to be rolling around and wrestling is unladylike, it's unfeminine, but uqsum billah al-azim, we have now reached a stage in the UK, especially in the UK, where we need to now learn to self-defense. I couldn't give a rat's how or what or how they take this comment that I just made. It is open season.
They're preparing. Look at this.
My name is Shabir. I'm the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach at LMA. Been here for nearly 3 years. So this is our annual One Nation event. And for the last few years, we take this...
One Nation. Little does he know. One Nation is a right-wing movement in Australia to kick the likes of him out of Australia.
Center stage in the park. And we just demonstrate what we do at our gym. So as the years have gone by, the number of students enrolling with us is increasing all the time. We've got boys, girls. Our youngest student...
All Muslims. All Muslims.
Has been 5. One of our oldest has been 63 or 64.
So let me read, instead of showing you the whole thing. This is 5 pillars saying, we learn to fight self-defense so we can protect ourselves and the loved ones around us. At a Muslim-run park event in Leicester, why does it have to be segregated? But why does it have to be divided between Muslims and non-Muslims? They're preparing for a civil war. And they need these men. They need these men. This is Ceuta, Spain. This is why they want them. This is why they will not speak up against them. This is why they will not only not speak up against it, but they are actually actively funding and are supporting it. They're all men. They're all coming in. They already have an infrastructure of how to train them, how to prep them. And these, obviously, it'll be harder for it would be harder for Muslims living in Europe because if you have families, then it becomes harder for you to become a terrorist. But if you come as a single fighting age man, then of course, that's a godsend. It's a gift. And this invasion has been facilitated by our politicians. It's been facilitated by women like this. Look at this. She's signing her own death warrant, saying, come on in, come on in. And it's been confirmed since then that at least 15 girls and women have been raped in Spain. It's happening right under our noses. Of course, this is their public image that, hey, look, we're preparing ourselves against the far right. No, they're preparing for a civil war. They are preparing for a separatist movement. Europe, within the next 5 years or so, you are going to see Islamist separatist movements in Germany, in France, in the UK. I don't know how our governments will respond then, but it's going to happen. France already has a plan France already has a military plan what to do if that happens, because they are under threat by Algerian and Moroccan Muslims over there. Germany has a lot of Turkish Muslims there. And of course, since then, a lot of these third worlders have been added, Syrians, Moroccans, and whatnot, who will be used as cannon fodder by the Islamists against the West. It's going to happen.